The High Court, the Minerals Council, challenging a series of decisions from the Mineral Resources Ministry. They're all around the mining charter. The charter sets out obligations to the mining industry. They spell out what companies have to do as part of their mining activities. Now, one of the key disputes over the last few years has been what's called the issue of once empowered, always empowered. To oversimplify it, whether a mining company which sells part of itself to black owners is still considered compliant under black economic empowerment legislation if that black shareholder sells the shares to a white owner. Let's speak to Alan Seckham, the resources writer at Business Day. Alan, good afternoon to you. What's at stake in this application? It's obviously crucial for the industry.
Stephen, it is. And the problem is that it is so massively complex for sort of ordinary people outside of a law firm to understand what's really going on. But at the very heart of it are certain clauses in the third mining charter. The mining industry represented by the Minerals Council, not happy with certain clauses and wants the charter reviewed, saying that the mines minister had overstepped his powers in drawing up the charter. The DMRE today in court was arguing that it was well within its rights and that it was merely following the prescripts of the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act, as well as the Constitution, and tried to transform the industry. To say this is complicated is a little bit of an understatement, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you've got issues around, 20 to 30-year contracts to try and dig stuff out of the ground. You've got complications that come out of mining that can last for 100 years. And the investments, of course, are absolutely massive. And then transformation, we know, is a difficult process. The issue of once empowered, always empowered, I mean, I can't see a simple solution to that, frankly.
No, there's not. And to further muddy the waters, in 2017 or 2018, sorry, I forget the year exactly, there was a judgment that the Minerals Council won, stating that mining companies did not have to renew or top up empowerment deals to stay at a 26% black ownership level. So there was that judgment, and now we have the third charter, which specifically stipulates that the first two charters are completely null and void, which renders that whole ruling not quite null and void, but it adds complication in how you understand the industry and whether mining industries have to top up on these empowerment levels or not. I'm glad it's high-level judges deciding this one and not people like you and me, I'm afraid.
I don't know what you're saying about us journalists, but we'll be in it together. I do have to ask, I mean, there's been talks about this for ages, and I realize there's been contentious relationships between the mining industry and the Mineral Resources Ministry at times, particularly when Mosebenzi Zwane was there. When Gwede Mantashe was appointed, it seemed the mining industry felt that they now had a minister who understood the industry, and we know that, of course, he does. And yet, here we are in court because clearly they can't resolve their differences.
And that's a very interesting process too. When Gwede Mantashe came in 2018 as the new mines minister, replacing the almost universally unpopular Mosebenzi Zwane, he took a charter that Mosebenzi Zwane had imposed on the industry, but with very little consultation, it might be argued. And under Mantashe, the department went through a lot of consultation on the new charter. The end result, however, is one where the mining industry as a whole doesn't mind the charter too much, but there's certain clauses, particularly around the renewal and the transfer of mining rights, where the charter now says, look, you've got to get to 30% black ownership. And mining industry is saying, look, we've already done empowerment on these minerals. Why do we need to do more empowerment and disadvantage shareholders further? It's a very fraught and very emotional argument on both sides.
Alan Seckham, thanks very much indeed. Resources writer at Business Day. Complex issues still to unwind in court.